Hi guys! So today's big question is, what would I have told myself I needed crocheting if I was starting my crocheting journey today? So the first thing that we are going to talk about is hooks. So which hooks that you should use and what type of hooks there is. So as I'm sure those of you who have considered starting your crochet journey have found it quite overwhelming to figure out which kind of hook that you should use and what you should even buy. So there are of course many different hooks, and my recommendation is figure out what you find the most comfortable, but I will of course give my recommendation and you can take it or leave it. So I have today brought 4 different types. So there are these, which are some that I got from my mom. So they are quite old school. Then there is this plastic one, there is the wooden one, and then there are these ergonomic ones over here. So I would recommend using these ergonomic ones. They are really nice to hold on to. They have like an ergonomic grip. I don't think they are that slippery, but you can also use the other ones. It's completely up to you, but I would definitely recommend these. Then there is size. You can see that I have brought different sizes here. But again, it really depends on your project and on the size of yarn that you're going to use, but I will give you some tips on this after we've talked about different types of yarn. The next thing we're going to talk about is types of yarn. Okay, so there are different types of cotton yarn. Here I've brought some a bit thicker. It's called a ribbon cotton yarn, but we also have just the completely ordinary cotton yarn, which is called the 8/4 thickness of these. So whenever you see this mark here, cotton 8/4, 8/6 or 8/8, that is the difference of the yarn size. So 8/8 is the largest and 8/4 is the small or thinnest, and then 8/6 is the in between. So this is my ultimate recommendation for what you should start crocheting with. It has several advantages. First of all, it comes in all sorts of colors, not only the blue and the red one I brought with me today. You can get it in all sorts of colors. Second of all, they are quite cheap. So if you're not sure whether you like crocheting or not, this is a really good way to start with without spending a lot of money on yarn. This alternative here is a little bit more expensive, but can also be used for different things. So you can use it for blankets and baskets and stuff like that. Whenever I use or I crochet blankets, I usually use the cotton yarn. I also use this for dishcloths. I use it for all of my stuffed animals mostly. So this is my best recommendation. The next example is the wool. In this case, it's a baby merino wool. This is really soft. It's really good for beanies and scarves. It will keep you nice and warm throughout the winter with this. It's more expensive for each yarn, but it's an alternative as well. My last example today is this also like it's a bit more fluffy yarn. You can see the yarn is huge compared to the other types of yarn. So this, I think it makes really cute stuffed animals. I'm sure it will make amazing pillows, but it's a little bit more difficult to crochet in, and it's also a bit more expensive compared to the normal cotton yarn. So if we now go back to look at hooks, it will of course depend on which yarn we're going to choose. So are we choosing the just ordinary cotton yarn? I would go for you can see here, a size 3, 3.5, maybe even 2, 2.5, but in that size range. So my recommendation would be starting with a 3, and then you will learn how firmly you crochet, and then you can go up or down in needle size. For this yarn here, it's clear we can't necessarily use the same one, but here you can see we have a much larger hook size, and the same will go for the other two. The good thing is you can always see which size of hook they recommend for the yarn. So here you can see they would recommend you using a 7mm hook. If you go down, it will be more firm, and if you go up, it will be a little bit looser. But that's the recommended size, and you can see there is exactly the same thing here for the cotton here. So here they recommend between 2.5 and 3, just like I said. And last thing, we're gonna talk a little bit about some small things that I think you will find necessary. A yarn and a hook is basically what you need to crochet. However, it's really nice if you can finish everything off by making sure that the ends don't unravel. In here, a needle, so one with a soft tip is not necessary, but the most important thing is that it has a quite large needle hole so you can get the yarn in. So depending on which yarn you pick, so if you just choose the cotton, I would recommend these smaller ones because they will not stretch out your crocheting work. But if you're choosing one of the smaller yarn, bigger yarn types, I would of course go for a bigger one. And then of course you can't finish off your project without a pair of scissors. Okay, so this was what I had for you today. I really hope that you found it useful. Please let me know. Let me know if there's anything else you feel like I have missed. But otherwise, give it a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again in my next video.